To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. This is the first time in my life, I'll be 49 years old in October, that I have felt completely safe and secure. I should say my adult life. And what's ironic is I don't make a lot of money, and that's by design. I make enough that we can put a little bit in savings each month, put a little bit in emergency each month, make sure that we have food and supplies and the things we need, and a little bit to build my tiny house. Yet, I am richer than I've ever been before. And I used to be a manager at a manufacturing organization that employed disabled folks. Very stressful job, and it paid really well. But I was always broke. I never could get ahead in life. And so here I am, making very little money, completely safe, secure, and happy. Happier than I've ever been. How is this possible? Well, it's possible because I overcame a lot of fears and ideas that have been planted in all our heads on what is acceptable in life. I read a thing on Facebook the other day, and I'm not going to be able to quote it correctly, but it's so true. We have become a society where we could not imagine having a house without a mortgage, buying a car without a loan, having credit without a card. Our society has gotten where we cannot spend money unless it's on some sort of credit. Once you break that mentality and realize I don't need credit, I don't need a loan, I don't need these things, and you learn how to become debt-free, get yourself debt-free. Being debt-free is the only source of freedom. And once you have that accomplished, everything is easy, everything. And I know I've said this a million times, and I got to keep saying it because it's important. I own a piece of property that nobody can take away from me, ever. It's paid for. I paid cash with it. Here, take your money. Give me the title. Go away. And so how can you accomplish all this? Well, as I said, become debt-free is your first step. And if you don't know how to become debt-free, it's simple, simple, simple. Stop spending money. You just stop spending money. And I know that sounds so difficult, but it isn't. I was just talking to Carolyn yesterday. I said, I can't believe it. It just seems so weird to me. I saw a guy with a boat, and I was thinking, man, why does he want a boat? I mean, you go out once, twice a year to the lake, and you speed around in the boat, and you come home, and then you got to pay for it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun while you're doing it, but the rest of the year, it's terrible. And I looked at Carolyn and I said, you know, it's just ironic. We don't have anything other than our property and our truck. We don't have a lot of money except what's in our savings and our emergency plan. And I feel richer than I've ever felt in my life. It's incredible. So once you learn how to stop spending money, everything else is easy. I hear so many times in the comment section, they live vicariously through me, and I feel so sad. I hope to be an inspiration, not something that you're wishing you could do but can't. So the next step you have to overcome is downsizing your life. If you don't downsize your life, you're going to always be spending money, which goes back to getting debt-free. Downsize your life. Get things out of your life. It's so hard to imagine being happier, not having things that you thought made you happy. Since I don't have anything, I'm happy. Less to have to worry about, less have to maintain. You know, a lot of folks think I need a bigger house. We're building a 16 by 12 foot house. Well, if it's a bigger house, it means there's more junk to put in it, more junk that I got to maintain, more money I got to spend. The house itself becomes more expensive to maintain. You got to have insurance on a big house because there's no way you could actually replace it with any type of emergency fund. But if my house burned completely down, $5,000, I could simply rebuild it with the money I have in my emergency fund. So I don't have any worries. Let it burn down. I don't want it to burn down, but if it does, it's not a stressor. It's not a worry. I remember when I first started the nomadic lifestyle, we were downsizing. Oh, it was so difficult. What are you going to get rid of? And really, you know, you had to pack everything into a camper. And it was so difficult trying to figure out what about my tools? What about my tools? Well, I ended up, I took my tools. The problem was the tools were so heavy. I didn't take any power tools. I just took the wrenches. Well, after the camper fire, I didn't replace tools. I just bought a little Walmart set. And you know, that Walmart set has satisfied every need on fixing things that I've ever had to fix in the last 3 years. Once you can break that mentality that I got to have the best of stuff and the most of the stuff in order to feel happy, you really begin to realize, I don't have to worry about those dang tools. The other thing I would think is a real stressor to living your dream is fear. You got to think about this. We've minimized our life so much that you think, man, what if something goes wrong? How am I going to cope with it? Everybody I know is hooked up to electricity. They have all the electricity they want. Of course, now you got to pay the bill, so that goes back to steps 1 and 2, being debt-free and having more stuff than you need. But I have 800 watts of solar panels. If I use more than 800 watts, I don't get to do anything else, run my refrigerator. Refrigerator is probably the most stressful thing that I have. It uses the most energy, and that's the thing I got to maintain. That's the thing I got to keep going because, of course, we have meats in the freezer that we don't want to thaw out. It's got to keep going. But that doesn't mean I can have a TV and a VCR, or I guess a DVD player now, or whatever it is, your cable box, all those electronics sucking up energy, just using tons of energy. Most people use 800 watts an hour, 1,000 watts an hour in their house. I'm using 800, well, I use about 1,600 watts a day. Very little energy. So there's a huge fear in realizing, oh my goodness, I got to get rid of all these electronics and I got to get just down to the bare bones minimum so I can run off 800 watts of solar or however much solar you're going to want. I'm in this Facebook group, U.S. History, and regularly they'll post a picture of a woman from the Depression. And everybody talks about, man, she's a tough woman, really had to overcome a lot of obstacles, raising children and making food and canning food and, you know, the whole thing. And yeah, I'm sure it was very difficult. You can get the impression from the commenters that obviously there's no way she could have been happy because it was such a miserably difficult life. It's funny because I look at myself and I think this life, the one that I have to work so hard at to get my food and to get firewood, to make my electricity, to get my water. And I think this is the easiest life I've ever had. They're talking about a woman who had to go do all the things that I'm doing and saying how difficult her life was. And I look at my life and no, this is easy. This is so much easier than having to get up and go to work every day, listen to a boss who is absolutely a tyrant. Every day he's threatening that he's going to fire you. Every day he's telling you how terrible of a job you're doing. Every day he's trying to, rip money away from you. And then you got to come home and then you got to maintain all the stuff that's supposed to be making you happy, making your life easier. And if anything goes wrong in life, depression, recession, you lose your job, you lose it all. It's all gone. Most people, I think, are only 2 or 3 weeks away from not being able to buy food or going bankrupt, or not being able to pay bills. You're supposed to have 6 months worth of savings that you can live on for 6 months. Most people have, just 2 or 3 weeks. With the way that Carolyn and I have structured our life and with the money that we have saved back, if we lost all our employment, everything, we could actually go 2 or 3 years doing the same thing that we are doing right now and being happy doing it. Actually, probably more happy because I wouldn't have to work for the money because I've lost the job that I had. But we could go 2 or 3 years, maybe even 4 years, just going off the savings and having such a small budget. Right now we've been spending $500 a month just on our, supplies and food. It's not been a lot. The highest budget items right now have been trying to build this house and getting started in the lifestyle, buying chainsaws and, we had to buy an extra battery the other day. So just these extra little purchases is what's been running up our bill. But even at that, we're still not spending more than $1,000 a month on everything, insurance, food, all our costs. It's just phenomenal to me that we are happy. The happiest that we've ever been. How is this possible? And so I'm trying to encourage you to stop living vicariously through me. But I want you to start looking at these videos as inspirational. I want you to say, okay, I want to try this. I want to do it. I get so many people say, I'm just too old to do it. And I don't believe there's anybody too old to take that first step. Whatever that first step is, whatever your dream is. If you want to live off grid, sure, buying a piece of property and coming out here at an older age might be difficult. But that doesn't mean you can't start trying to become debt-free, minimizing your lifestyle, and buying a set of solar panels to use in your house. I hope I can inspire you so you can stop living vicariously. Thanks for watching.